Hiya, it's raining podcast. Hallelujah, it's raining podcast. Amen. Yeah. What's up? How you guys doing? Sure, you know that there's so many, excuse my English, but there are so many podcasts springing up every day. So this is the season of podcasts when the mic is in front of you and the camera is in front of me, just like it is now. We're about to start a pod. It's about to go down. So today I want to talk about 5 podcasts that I'm vibing with. I don't know about you, but lately Nigerian podcasts, they are doing fantastic. So Aisha, tell me, which is your favorite Nigerian podcast presently?
Honestly, it's the Honest Bunch.
Of course, I know. I think it's the same thing for a lot of people. And why? Let me even ask you why.
I think it's, first of all, the fact that they don't tone it down. It's very original. Yeah, it's controversial, but everybody is upbeat. There's no, it's fun.
It's fun. I agree it's fun, but a lot of times, sometimes I feel bad for some of the guests that come on there and be like, let me just be real, let me just say my truth, At the end of the day, there's like a lot of backlash.
Well, the thing is, everybody's story is valid.
True.
So whatever your story is,
come and say audience. Anyway, the name says the Honest Bunch.
Exactly. So
just come and be honest and tell us.
Honestly speaking.
Thank you. Frankly speaking, Neduli speaking too. Because yes, Nedu is always at the center of almost every issue that podcast brings. Let me put it like that.
No, sometimes I think he's not a very cool host because he interrupts his
guests a lot.
His guests, and I'm like, why?
So shout out to you, Nidu. Stop interrupting your guests. Moving on. So another podcast I think I like, probably maybe because they talk about issues. They just say it the way they feel it, and they said what they said. It's I said what I said podcast. I love the ladies that host that podcast because a lot of times they are speaking the minds of a lot of Nigerian women. I know. I think it's very important. We have a voice out there that is talking about the things that we don't like, especially from you Nigerian men. So what do you think about the I said what I said podcast?
I haven't watched their podcast or listened, but I really like Jola. I think she's just, authentic in how she shows up as a brand. And so if she's bringing that to the podcast, like the way the name implies, I'm sure they are doing dope stuff.
Oh, they are doing dope stuff. Oh, my goodness. And Nigerian men don't like them, but it's fine. We love them. You don't need to like them. Leave them for us like that.
One podcast that I wish, was still doing really amazing stuff, but I think they've stopped now is Me, Her, and Everything Else.
Yeah. Oh,
Stephanie Coker's podcast.
Yeah, I haven't heard about them.
It was really good.
Long time.
Yeah, I think they're not.
Except they're on a break or something.
Maybe they took a break.
Except so. Because I like TVT. I think a lot of people love Temisa.
Yeah, Temisa is cool.
Temisa is...
His storytelling is on point.
Everything, the way he is with his guests. I like how he's able to have a conversation and really bring out, make the guests feel comfortable enough to just be vulnerable in that moment. I love that about him. So yeah, we've talked about the Honest Bunch. I said what I said. I said what I said.
About Nedu.
About Nedu. But I still love you though, Nedu. Even though I said what I said about you. And Tea with Tay. Which other podcasts? Yeah.
Nigerian podcast.
Yeah. There's one I'm waiting for you to mention.
Oh God, I hope I get it.
I'm waiting. It starts with a T. Our beautiful auntie in the Lord. The T, Lady T. The gorgeous. The beautiful. Toke moments.
Oh. Yeah. Let's give Toke moments a round of applause because like, oh, that's true. And I used to be a fan before
I'm still
entrepreneurship entered.
I'm still a fan.
I used to watch Toke Moments on YouTube every week.
Like, she has been very consistent.
Yeah, and I think that this is important because it's not the starting of the podcast that's most important. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that week in, week out, your audience has something they're receiving from you.
Yeah, and they show up too, because you're saying a lot of people's minds and they can actually relate.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're just fun, crazy conversations, but they're like real and authentic.
Yeah, they're very real and authentic.
And very, very interesting. So shout out to you, Toke, T to the O to the K
Auntie
to the E.
Tokestar.
Yeah, Auntie Tokestar. Oh yeah, that's it. Auntie Tokestar.
Auntie Tokestar.
So shout out to you.
She said, Toke Makinwa.
Yes, so
Toke Moments.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to her. So what other podcast are you vibing with now?
Nigerian.
It mustn't be Nigerian. Some other podcast. And why? You have to tell us why.
I'm really liking the guests that come on this guy's podcast. Stephen Bartlett.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the name of his podcast, but the clips that I see on social media, they are deeply, deeply inspirational. So, and he's done this for such a very long time as well. And I mean, it just counts that we should give him a shout out too.
Yeah, so shout out to you, Stephen Bartlett, from all of us here in Nigeria. Yeah, so we're shouting out to you.
So I don't think people really understand the value of podcasts, because I know that when Nedu give us some kind of controversy, like that cider budge time, everybody was like, I beg, see, let's ban podcasts in this country.
Yeah, no, it's not ban. Let's ban podcasts in this country.
Let's ban podcasts in Nigeria. Anyway, you see a mic.
Banned it.
And a camera, just banned it.
Banned it.
You know, but the truth is, podcasts can help you grow your business.
True.
In a variety of ways, you know. Is it about reaching a wider audience?
Yeah.
You know, is it that there's that, you know, I mean, it has a really wider reach, and it's just beautiful that the content is so versatile. I mean, there's a lot that you can do with it. So if you put the audio on Spotify, for example, you can put the video on YouTube. So your content has the potential to reach a wider audience.
And be shared over and over
and that
over.
gives you a level of brand visibility, you know, and awareness that everybody just really needs. And then all these subjects that we talk about, you know, or that podcasters talk about in their episodes, is a way for a brand to, you know, connect with their audience on a deeper level. So what's your audience thinking? What's their biggest fear? And all those things that they're going through. Just joining the conversation via a podcast is another, I feel like it's a more intimate way to reach them, you know. So there's that as well. And, you know, just, I mean, also, even for building relationships with your customers.
That's true.
So what's wrong with your customer coming on and your podcast?
Yeah,
to
giving reviews.
Yeah, to just share their story
about using your product or service.
And how they've interacted with your solution.
Yeah.
Let it come from
within
the customer's mouth, you know, in an informal setting such as a podcast. I think it carries, you know, like...
And I don't think anyone has done something like that.
No, I mean, I see some foreign brands.
I'm talking about Nigerian brands.
I've not seen
I haven't seen any
brand
Nigerian brand bring their customer on.
Yeah, most Nigerian corporates, I mean, corporate organizations, they don't... Not many of them are leveraging. Shout out to... these are our customers.
What's that?
They have the sports management company.
Yeah,
they have a Sportisan podcast.
Sportisan, exactly.
You know, and that's really great.
Yeah.
I mean, a corporate organization leveraging podcasts to not only tell their stories, but also connect deeply with their audience and all of that. So I think, instead of saying we should ban podcasts, maybe we should start thinking about, because we're a very entrepreneurial people, we're always thinking solutions.
The hustle is on every single time.
Why don't we think about using podcasts, to sell?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you guys, you heard it. If you're a business owner out there, it's time for you to start a podcast and bring your people on. Like if you're a makeup artist, for example, if you start a podcast, you can have an episode where someone who has used your service can come on and just talk about the experience, of how he or she felt. Because yes, men wear makeup. Some men do.
Yeah.
About your service. It could be a bride. She could just take people on a journey of what it felt like being the bride for that day. So don't sleep on podcasts, the mic and the camera. Start your podcast today. This is your cue to start your own podcast. And you know that you can record your podcast here at Hustle Africa Studios. We have a studio where you can record your audio podcast. You can do your audiobook recordings. If you're a voiceover artist, you need to rush down here. And we also have this really beautiful studio that you can see me in. Am I not looking gorgeous on camera? You can also look gorgeous on camera like me. So hurry down to Hustle Africa Studios to start your own podcast recording. And it's not just podcasts. You can also record your commercials here. Talking head videos too. Yes, your customers need to hear you speak and they need to see you because your brand needs a face. So hurry down to Block B, Royal Bird Estate, 31C, Afolabi Aino Street, just behind Alade bus stop off Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos. Come record your podcast today. Thank you.
Another reason why you should take this really seriously is the fact that you can build your credibility. And for many of you that want to become, really strong personal brands, how do you think your people will feel seeing you as a podcast host? That automatically shoots your brand, several steps higher. So I think,
because that will help you establish authority.
Yeah, you establish authority. People believe you more because you're seen sitting with, guests upon guests, and
I know people like to see. They like to use their eye. They say our people talk, say, now eye, then they take chop. Or they hear me so. So people want to see your customers. They want to hear from your clients firsthand. And having a podcast, recording a talking head video, having a show for your business is not a bad idea. It's a way to reach the people who really, truly need your service or your product. On that note, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining us. It was fun. Ayeesha, did you have fun on this set?
Absolutely, 100%.
I had an amazing time.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.